I told my husband I told you so, and laughing at me when we got the paternity test results. My husband Jake has always been super suspicious about literally everything. Like, this dude wouldn't even trust a GPS to give him the right directions to McDonald's. But the one thing that really got under my skin was how he always questioned whether our baby girl Emma was actually his. Emma has these bright green eyes and really light brown hair, while both Jake and I have dark brown eyes and black hair. Every single time someone would comment on her eyes, Jake would get this weird look on his face and make some comment about how genetics are funny. I'd roll my eyes and tell him babies can look different from their parents, but he'd just shake his head. It started getting really bad when Emma turned 6 months old. Jake would stare at her during feeding time and make these comments like, "She doesn't really look like either of us," or "Maybe we should get one of those ancestry kits." I kept telling him he was being ridiculous, but honestly, his constant paranoia was starting to drive me crazy. The breaking point came when we were at my sister-in-law's birthday party. Jake's mom was holding Emma and gushing about how beautiful she was. Then she said something like, "Those eyes are so unique. I wonder where they came from." Jake immediately looked at me with this suspicious expression and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Yeah, I've been wondering the same thing." I was so embarrassed. His whole family went quiet, and I could feel everyone staring at us. That night when we got home, I finally lost it. I told him if he was so convinced Emma wasn't his, then he should just get a stupid paternity test and prove himself wrong. He got this smug look on his face and said, "Fine, maybe I will." 2 weeks later, he came home with this DNA testing kit he ordered online. I couldn't believe he actually went through with it. As he was swabbing Emma's mouth, I kept saying, "You're going to feel like such an idiot when this comes back." He just shrugged and said we'd see. The waiting period was the worst 2 weeks of our marriage. Jake was acting all confident, like he was about to be vindicated. Meanwhile, I was getting more and more angry that my own husband didn't trust me. I kept thinking about how I was going to make him apologize to me and probably sleep on the couch for a month. When the results finally came in, Jake opened the envelope with this satisfied expression on his face. But as he read the paper, his face went completely white. The test showed 99.97% probability that Jake was Emma's biological father. I couldn't help myself. I started laughing and said, "I told you so," right to his face. But instead of apologizing or looking embarrassed, Jake got this weird, angry expression. He started mumbling about how the test could be wrong and maybe we should try a different company. That's when I realized this wasn't about Emma's appearance at all. This was about Jake having serious trust issues that went way deeper than I thought. The worst part was when he suggested we get a second test, just to be sure. I told him absolutely not, and that if he couldn't trust the first test or trust me, then maybe we had bigger problems. He got defensive and said he was just being thorough, and that any reasonable person would want to double check. That night, I called my sister and told her everything. She was shocked that Jake had gone that far and said I should seriously consider if this is the kind of person I wanted to be married to. She pointed out that even after being proven wrong, he still couldn't admit he messed up or apologize for doubting me. The next morning, Jake tried to act like nothing happened. He was playing with Emma and making jokes, like the whole paternity test thing was just some silly misunderstanding. When I brought it up, he said, "Well, at least now we know for sure," and tried to laugh it off. I told him it wasn't funny, and that I was hurt he never trusted me in the first place.